is it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Airlock Podcast. And I am already experiencing a difficulty as the scene hasn't changed. Why hasn't the scene changed? Stream Deck, please don't. There we go. Hey, all right. It wouldn't be a Legion stream without a technical difficulty. Anyway, how's everybody going? Yes, typical Legion. I know. Welcome everybody to Airlock Podcast. I am your host, Captain. Hopefully not for longer. LegionX. Sorry, I'm making that joke from now on until it happens. I'll get into it later. Anyway, my name is Captain LegionX, commander of Thunder Squadron. Welcome to the Airlock Podcast. Today, some interesting things. First off, I would like to apologize to all the old Twitch channel viewers. It seems we had a bit of a death in the family. Not actually a death. Matt Saltbot, who has served us in the channel for years, has finally decided to no longer function. Ergo, it's dead. So I'm afraid that we've had to quickly find a solution, and have now decided to switch over to the other bot, the cloud bot. I was looking at chat. I just saw XP, one of our members from EH, asking how I drink through my mask. We never asked this question, but as Vice Admiral Silwar has said in chat, emergency induction port. Yes, may look like a straw, but it's fine. Anyway, so yes, we've had to switch bots. It's not fully complete. It's got pretty much the base functions that I need for it for tonight. I will add more function to it later. It does have a bit of a currency system. We're implementing the currency system back into the channel again. Yay. What you can do with the currency system, not much. That's what I was working on. That's what's going to be taking some time. It's fine though, as I have both the bot and Vice Admiral Silwar has decided, or has accepted my plea of help for finding a moderator for tonight's show, until we can, finally get the official podcast team going. Look at me. I'm the bot now. Yes, quite. All right, so today we have on the other line, or waiting on the other line, we have the commander of Eagle Squadron, Major Graf. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And eventually, at some point during the evening, we will have other members of Eagle to join us on tonight's show. But for right now, we just have him, which is fine. Another thing I'm going to have to point out, audio issues seem to be happening again, because why not? Because it wouldn't be a Legion stream without technical difficulties. So, if you can't hear him, let me know, and I'll see if I can boost his audio even more. For those pilots who are joining midway of the interview, please just don't join the chat, the voice channel, and just start speaking. It may destroy the eardrums of whoever's watching or listening. So just bear in mind with that. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and grab the Major once I can figure out why the stream deck is not working. You know what? Manual. We're going manual. We're going live. Now why can't I undeafen myself? There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, here is our guest for the evening, Major Graf. How are you doing, sir?
Captain Legion, I'm really well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, all right. So as I said earlier, I'm working on the audio issues as we speak. I don't know why Discord is doing this, but it's fine. So How are you doing, sir?
I'm really well, thank you. I will take this moment though to just make a correction on my name. It's Graf Jin. As
Jin.
in Jean.
Okay. All right. I do have a tendency to screw up names, and thank you for the correction.
No. I think it's loads of people around the age have been saying it, and I guess I'll just take the opportunity now to clear the record.
Yes. Yes. Good. So yeah. So it's just Graf Jin, right? Yep. Alrighty.
Like Genie, except without the ending.
Without the yes. Okay. All right. So you told me later that several pilots of Eagle will be joining us, and we'll hopefully be hearing from them soon. I'm keeping an eye on the channel. When they join, we'll adjust their audio so that we don't destroy any eardrums. Anyway, so first off, love the outfit, love the artwork that Newt made for you. Holy, like.
Yeah, Newt did an amazing job, didn't they?
When does she not? Like.
Well, they've become a real force, I guess you'd call it, within the TC. They've really made a name for themselves as somebody who creates some incredible artwork. And when I reached out to them about putting my one forwards for this podcast, I'm like, no, I should probably get my own done properly.
Yeah, which has the red outfit. I'm looking at the Discord now.
Yeah, and that was a complete design choice on their behalf. They said to me, there was a lot of back and forth between us, and they said, "Hey, look, what do you think about a flight suit in sort of rebel colors?" I'm like, "Yeah, that looks pretty cool, actually." So yeah, I'm very, very happy. Newt is an amazing artist, and really hope to see much more of their stuff around.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been already being informed that the audio is still low. That's fine. I'm boosting it up.
You want me to shout?
No, you shouldn't need to shout. But I'm doing everything to the best of my abilities because Discord.
We can have a podcast where it sounds like I'm angry the whole way through it.
No, I think I've actually finally found the balance I've been looking for all this time.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, for those of you who have not read the ending of the Valkyrie series, now is a good time to start reading that. All right, so
just on the Valkyrie series, congratulations on completing it.
Oh, thank God!
Are you happy with it?
Oh, so much. Yeah, I was. So I have actually been working on those last two chapters since the very end of the chapter 6, and what was that, like a week, several days? Like it was just constantly like I know writing, it's there'll be a lot of times where you just stop and have to delete stuff and then rewrite it, delete stuff again and rewrite it. No, that was like every night, and I was just panicking, like nothing is clicking, nothing is making sense. I don't know what to do here.
Did you enjoy the process though?
Oh, very much so. But I was more trying to make it all seamless, and then finally get the reveal that everybody has been apparently dying for. Unmasked Legion. Yes, it has happened, ladies and gentlemen. I have now revealed my face to my character's face to EH. Surprisingly, very well received. Everybody, everybody.
Not by me.
Yeah. You apparently are the only one that's disappointed because I apparently am handsome.
I wanted like a missing eye and like a jaw that had been removed or something like that. Some horrible. I guess we'll just have to stick with the mask.
Well, okay. Yes, there is something, but I can't give too much because it will actually be spoilers for the next series.
Oh, there's a next series. Good.
There is going to be a next series when I get promoted. I'm sorry. No, I'm good. I'm joking. It's fine. No, there is going to be a next series, and yeah, there'll be more to it. Again, I don't want to give too much spoilers for those who haven't read the final chapter yet, but all I will say is watch the eyes. That's all I'll say. But anyway, let's let's get back to you and Eagle, because I've been meaning to actually hear your story for the longest time. But let's start with how you joined DH. What was your start?
So I joined, I think in September 2020, and I think, Taygeta said it last week. We were like days apart, maybe a week, but he and I both joined very, very close to each other, and we're both put in Lambda. And I joined the EH because I'd just got myself a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick, and I decided I really wanted to get back into playing TIE Fighter and the X-Wing series. And it was a formative game in my youth. I played many, 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 many hours of that game. But I felt that after all this time that maybe somebody had figured out how to make custom battles or something like that. So I did a bit of searching, and I came across the HTC, and I'm like, oh, gee, there's a lot of custom battles for this game. So
whole list.
Yeah, so I signed up and went through the process and started playing games. And I didn't even know about Squadrons coming out until it was released a couple of weeks after I joined, and so it was this really seamless transition for me to go from playing TIE Fighter straight into Squadrons, and I was super pumped for it. So it was a good time to join the TC at that stage. I might add that the TC is my first club. It's my first gaming club. It's my first proper club outside of sporting or music groups or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Gaming for me has always been a solo affair. It's always been about single player. And playing multiplayer, it was like back in the day, I was restricted to like LAN parties and maybe some early Unreal Tournament or Counter-Strike. And they were good. Yeah, and they were good for the social element to it, but they never really grabbed me. I never really gravitated towards either those type of games within a broader social context. And so by extension, I never really joined up with a gaming club. So as I said, I grew up with sports and music, and gaming was always quite secondary. And one of the things that I've noticed a lot of people who are in the TC, they've all played or actively play D&D. And it's something I've wanted to, but I've never really found the opportunity to do so. And I know that I'll stick around here long enough, the opportunity will come up. But so it was really cool to come into the TIE Corps with this long history. It built up all this mythology, this lore, this history behind it, and I really threw myself into it, and I found my spot within Lambda, and it was great. I loved being in Lambda. Back then we had Jeannie's obviously still around.
Yeah.
But Jeannie's a great leader, very considerate, led by example, very inclusive. I loved being with Jeannie, and I still love flying with him. Great guy. But we also had Zai and Taygeta, and they were just super fun guys to be around. They made time to play the game, and we all started from scratch together, and all quickly found our pecking order. But it was that was.
I see now why. Yeah, I see now why Taygeta chose you as the next commander, then, or next commander to be interviewed at this point. Then.
Oh, look, we joked about it that he was throwing me under the bus at the time, but I never really saw it as that. It was, we started at the same spot and the same time, really, and I've got to find a way to return the favor somehow.
Yeah, somehow. So, yeah, you didn't start at Eagle at first. You actually started at Lambda over at the Hammer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, flying Lambda shuttles around, lots of fun.
Yes. And I'm sure when you got transferred to Eagle, you were saluted or sent off the same way as everybody, as I hear at Lambda, through an airlock. Or was that just Zai? I don't remember.
Genie never, and I think this is true of most of the good leaders, most of the leaders, let's say, within the HTC, is they are the people who aren't going to step in your way. You know, if you show an interest to progress or to, you know, have your own leadership, say, look, I want to do these sorts of things, then those leaders will say, yep, absolutely, I'm going to make that opportunity for you. I'm going to give you, develop you somehow and put you in a position where you can take on board different opportunities. And when I told, so what had happened was Firebird and Eagle are the two infiltrator wing squadrons. So they're the only squadrons in the TIE Corps who fly New Republic ships. And they had been reinstated, I want to say November, January 21. And the opportunity came up for flight leaders and squadron XOs. So I spoke with Genie and said, look, this is something I'd like to do. And he was like, absolutely, man. I'm not going to hold you back. Over you go. So no, there was no airlock, I should say.
Oh, okay.
I think he flew me over to the challenge on his personal shuttle, which was very nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, so I came into Eagle.
As an XO or as a flight member?
Honestly, I think I came in straight as a flight leader. I don't think that they had introduced XOs at that point, but it happened pretty quickly afterwards. So the reason why I wanted to come into the new squadron was I wanted to see what it would look like to build a squadron from the ground up. So new commander, new squadron, new ship. Challenge had just been reopened as well. And my commander at that time was Major Talon Jade. And he had been in the EH for a very long time. A lot of stuff with the Dark Brotherhood as well. And he's ex-military in real life. And what I found is that he was very good at identifying strengths of individuals and really getting them to shine. And I really enjoyed my time with him. But he retired, I want to say around March, maybe earlier, maybe later. And I had the opportunity to step up as commander of Eagle then, but I just didn't feel that I could put the energy and the commitment into the role at that stage. I had a lot of work things, life issues going on, and Melbourne lockdown, the dark days.
Yeah, the dark days of COVID. Yes, we've all had our sufferings from it.
We have indeed, yeah. And so I said no, I didn't want to apply for the role, and then we had Colonel Horace Blackheart step up into it, and he did the role for a few months, and then he reached out to me and said that he was going to retire, and I stepped up into his role after that.
I was gonna ask, he wasn't there for long, if I recall.
It was a good 3 or 4 months, I think, maybe even 5. But don't quote me on that.
Okay, I'm sure somebody on the Twitch chat will find and provide the answer at some point.
I should just check the questions that come through. I don't have that going.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean I have a list here, but yeah. Again, when we're doing the podcast, for those of you watching live on Twitch, like I said, I'll watch the chat as much as I can. But don't be mad if I don't answer or respond to questions live, simply because I just have a lot of things I gotta take care of, i.e. the audio issue that seems to be a bit of a juggle every time. Because now it's not just you. Now it's thinking that my microphone is too overpowered. So while I'm raising the desktop audio, my microphone level, surprisingly, is at 25%.
Well, hopefully this can all be scrubbed out in post.
Cody Lance, he's currently my lead editor for the podcast videos when we put them up on the YouTube channel, and he has done already an amazing job with episode 1. He's currently working on episode 2. Mind you, he's also in school. So I also told him there is absolutely no rush. That I'd rather have him perform well at school before anything else. This is secondary. It's
Quality
not.
over quantity.
Yeah, it's not like the videos are going away anytime soon. They will be available to all the high command in the few more days once I actually set up the Google Drive, and yeah, I've already sent him all the Google links anyway, so he could just pick and choose whichever he wants to do. But yeah, so yeah, so someone what was it? Oh, never mind. They're answering a different question. All right, so back to your rise in commandership. So Horace just decided to contact you, letting you know he's retiring, and you were just chosen because you were the XO at that time when they finally did started implementing the XO role, correct?
Yeah, Silwar reached out to me and said that this was happening as well. Obviously, I'd had that prior conversation with Horus, and as the XO, I stepped in as the acting commander. And then Silwar opened up the floor and asked for nominations and potential candidates to take on the role. And I decided that this was my time, that I wanted to put my hat into the ring, so to speak, and lead my own team forward.
And you have done so amazingly, especially with the help of now your XO, Xylo.
Absolutely, you cannot, and I will say this again, you cannot run a good squadron without a good XO. Xylo has been a revelation, both personally and I think to the wider Emperor's Hammer TIE Corps.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. I remember when we were first starting. It wasn't the Chakila Cup. It was the Challenge League, the one that Hanzo ran.
Mm-hmm.
Where Thunder actually did have a team, barely a team, and I was in desperate need of quote-unquote mercenaries, aka anybody who didn't have a team yet, who are wanting to join the competition. And I remember first going to him because I was recommended to go to him to ask for some help, and he actually brought. It was also you that I also asked, but based off of his recommendation as well. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd ever meet anybody from Eagle at this point because I was still that shy. But yeah,
You just come out of your shell.
yeah, no, he bridged that gap. He 100% bridged that gap. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what would have happened.
I'm glad to hear it worked out.
Yeah, and speaking of Xylo, how are your thoughts on the time trials that he's been posting?
The time trials. A couple of things on the time trials. Firstly, I think congratulations to you. I think it really is an astonishing little competition, and
Thank you.
It's been really cool to see the various iterations of the competition, sort of how it's evolved, what it was in that first season where it was just open to the challenge, and then it's sort of grown since then, and how you've refined it over time, and even the meta behind what auxiliaries and what combinations of ships the pilots going up against you are now taking out. Back in season 1, it was like, oh, nobody's going to break 3 minutes, and
yeah, and then that one failed massively.
out of the park. And then season 2 came around, and then people were posting like 110, 111. It's like, gee, can we get it under a minute?
I was gonna say, I think you were the one that broke the 3-minute mark first in season 1.
Well, I mean, all things considered, 3 minutes is now a very long time.
Yeah, considering the nature of the competition, yes. Because what was it? Season 1, you actually got second place for that one.
Yes, beat me to the pinch.
Yeah, Jospens, yeah, he beat.
Oh,
it was a Jospens. Xylo was in 3rd, Silwar in 4th, Hanzo 5th, Ryu 6th, Marenta. We're not gonna go there.
Good memory. Are you reading that, or do you?
I just pulled it up, but I don't remember. I didn't remember the times. I just pulled it up now, but I remembered the order. Yeah, you actually won second place with 1:27. Who would have thought that? Yeah, who would have thought that is so super slow now in this competition?
More than 60 seconds beyond the best time now. But I mean,
Yeah.
so what it's become is this sort of competition between what are ultimately the Empress Hammer's best pilots for this type of game, and it's really cool. It's great to to watch the sometimes there are replays, not always, but oftentimes you see the times being posted, and there's this steady decrease or increase towards what we could call a hard limit, and I don't know what that hard limit could be.
I can tell you right now, the human limit, what me and several others, Genie and Miles, Colonel Genie and Fleet Admiral Miles, we both, all three of us have agreed at this point with how I written the rules and the mechanics of the game itself, because you really can't change that much. We honestly believe 25 or going under 25 seconds is not possible. Now, we have so many people, Xylo included, saying horse baloney. I almost said a word that probably would have been okay with the Grand Admiral. Yeah, they honestly think they could get as low as 18 seconds in this competition.
Well, here's the counter to that argument is that you've run this for 3 seasons. You must have done 100 matches against people by now.
Oh yeah.
And so you yourself have gotten better at evasion. So that makes the game a step harder in itself as well, because the more you play it, the better you get at getting away from people.
And
so
it
I
shows.
I'd say 25 seconds probably is a fairly good hard limit, but somebody will surprise us and do 23 seconds. Go.
I was about to say, I was in a bit of a conversation with the High Admiral, Pliff, and I was at first thinking, is Platinum Wings going to be good enough if somebody breaks this human limit factor here, under 25 seconds? I don't think it will be enough. People were starting to say that. I talked to him, was like, should we add anything? I don't think we should, but should we? And I believe his response was, I don't think I've ever heard Platinum Wings not being enough. Yeah.
Pretty rare.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he said. It was like, it's pretty rare. It's like, yeah, I believe you're right. I don't think anybody would disagree with Platinum Wings if somebody were to break that limit. Then again, though, if somebody actually broke the limit, like, I don't know if I could continue this competition anymore.
Well, I mean, honestly, it comes down to it doesn't even matter what the medal ultimately is, because if you've got bragging rights for a competition of this sort of type, I think that's a big enough feather in anybody's cap.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna say, do you think Xylo is actually gonna get under the 25-second mark as his commander, with or without the favoritism? You think so?
Yeah, I think so, because this will go into, I know we were going to talk about Chuck Killer Cup, but one of the reasons why I think I am biased, I absolutely am biased. He's probably listening to this now and he's got a red face, but I am biased. But the reason why I think Xylo is one of the best players in the Emperor's Hammer is, and this goes towards fleet battle as well, is he's got a very considered approach, particularly around the fleet battles. He'll watch all the games, either live or in replay. He'll make notes, especially where he can lift his own game. And he has lifted he's become this all-round very, very, very good player, and he doesn't seem to give up, does he? He just keeps coming back for more. And Kebler, on the other hand, is just this imperious dogfighter. He has some incredible skills. So
Oh yeah.
between the two of them, but then you can't rule out somebody else in this very broad range of very experienced set of pilots that we've got coming up and blowing both of them out of the water.
I will say Genie is hot on their tails. He's not far behind with the current record in season 3 for 29 seconds, where Xylo is at 27.
What I'm saying is I don't think this is a two-horse race. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. This will be interesting to see if any more sudden surprises like last season, where we thought none of the Warrior pilots were going to show up, and then in the last few days, not one but two show up and take second and third. So it's like,
tell me, how has it been for you in regards to, because you're running this as a competition, it's gone for quite a long time. I imagine it takes time away from you. Like, I mean, for example, with Calculate Cup, you could be using that time to do your own practice and training with your squad.
Well,
how do you?
So, right now with the Tequila Cup, I haven't been able to participate in any of our latest matches due to work, just straight up work. The timing where teams had availabilities and my schedule just conflicted so much. It's like I'm not gonna be able to make it. It's fine. I'll eventually get into one of them. And it's not like I haven't been practicing, because I actually have been testing out a bunch of different loadouts that people are probably gonna say he's never done that before. And in trial runs, I call them trial runs because you can only do so much to simulate battles like these with AI on the other side, especially AI in this game, because considering their emergency e-brake ways where they just stop in the middle of nowhere. I hate that, by the way. I absolutely hate that. Space doesn't work that way.
There is no such thing as inertia in the Star Wars universe.
No, what I mean by the emergency e-brake, they literally just stop on a dime and then just turn and then go. It's like, yeah, inertia doesn't work that way. Like, I mean, it can, but the pilot inside would not survive. They would be crushed. It's like that's where I'm getting at. But anyway, moving back on, finding the times so far has actually not been an issue, because every time someone asks, hey, are you available to do a time trial attempt, I want to try to post times. If I'm working, I tell them I can't do it right now. Here's when I'm going to be available. Is that okay? So far, no one's said no. And other times, I was like free right then and there. I'm like, all right, let's go right now. And yeah, it hasn't been a problem.
Good.
And
do you feel that there's a point you'll burn out though, with regards to, I just don't want to do this anymore?
Probably after this season, and there's going to be a bit of a break. Not much in terms of me running competitions, because where I will probably slow down the time trials competition, I'm also going to be working on others, i.e. Armchair Admirals, which folks have been wondering when am I going to start that up again. I think I finally got a system down for that competition for its season 2, and just for the sake of my own sanity, because I can only run so many competitions at a time. I'm gonna run that for a month after season 3 finishes, and then probably switch it up again back to the time trials with a new twist of some sorts. Especially since we want to try to push out the platinum wings on the time trials. Those competitions need to be 4 months minimum in order to run that. So I don't want to just keep doling about every now and every so often, because it's like, what happened to the rarity of these medals. And also, I also don't want to run the time trial competitions during our biggest months during the year, especially when, you know, competitions like Raise the Flag, Imperial Storm, Squadron Remobilization come out. When those start to get up again, I don't want to run my competitions overlapping them, because that will just be a complete chaotic storm of scheduling.
Well, that takes a lot of your time away from, you know, participating as part of as your squadron commander.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's important to find that fine line. You know, more to the point, I think, you know, these competitions are, from an external point of view, looking in, I imagine they do take up quite a lot of your time. So, you know, kudos to you, man. They're very, you know, you're very selfless in regards to running them.
Thank you.
But you do seem to enjoy it, and they have been very well received.
So far, yeah. So far they have. Like I said, Armchair Admiral Season 1 was a bit bumpy, but that's pretty much because I was trying to run 3 competitions that at that time. It was actually the Season 1 time trials, which seemed to have been the greatest success out of all of them. Armchair Admirals, and I was also attempting at the time to do the going back to your wanting to play D&D. I was actually going to try to set a quote-unquote Star Wars based D&D competition for EH. Now,
I wouldn't even understand what that would look like.
I had a system. It wasn't a great system, but I had a system. But Pliff Pliff showed me, and I had to agree. It wouldn't have worked, because the whole purpose of D&D is to work together as a team, and for it to be a competition takes that away. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It's not going to work. Now, that being said, I'm not fully throwing that idea away. We did decide to instead make those events in EH. Now, they won't be for medals like originally planned. However, they will be they'll be worth something, some sort of MSE points or something. We haven't really hashed out what the quote-unquote rewards will be for participating in these events, but there will be something. But yeah,
you know, again, sometimes just being involved can be enough of the reward.
Oh yeah.
Not everything needs a medal.
Yeah, exactly. Not everything needs a medal. But I also wanted to provide opportunities for everybody to gain something, especially for our new members who are trying to get a feel for our community, because they start joining in. They're like, okay, what do? I just know one game. I didn't know you guys played so many other games. And it's like, I just provide a whole, like, what's the word, smorgasbord of opportunity. So say, it's like, we don't just do one. Here's a list of all these other things we can do, and you can take your time in doing whatever you want. No need to rush. And actually, I just quickly saw Hanso's message in the live chat. Co-op PvP is rewardable in EH. D&D is exactly that. Exactly. Yes. So like I said, we will figure something out. I haven't hashed the last bit of details. The D&D game will happen. I assure you. I assure everybody in the Emperor's Hammer, it will happen. I just need a little bit more time. The timing just needs to be right with this type of game.
Don't rush it. It'll happen naturally.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I can only do so many competitions at a time. I found myself I thought I could pull 3, maybe 4, and realistically 1 or 2 at max. One or two that need my immediate attention. There is actually, as we speak, I actually did make another competition, and this is everybody who is either listening to the show or watching it live. Alert your artist right now, as Thunder Squadron is actually in great need of artists. We are currently holding a banner competition with an Iron Star gold ribbon off the line, with silver ribbon and bronze ribbon as placement medals as well. And we just need to update our new banner, and we don't have any artists in our squad, or at least we don't have any artists that have the time to do it. We're pretty much all going to be judges, but we're asking for help in the creation of a. While we're rebranding ourselves, like Major Calv, who you can see on screen for those of you watching. The new emblem on your left, my right. The new Squadron patch been made by Major Calv, and yeah, we're now in the process of making a new banner. So just let all your artists know, and let anybody who wants in on this competition start submitting those banners now, because this is only running for a month. All right. Oh,
Good
also,
plug.
yeah. also, we've run the motto of swift, silent, and deadly. As many of you know, that's also essential to farts. We're done with that. All right, I'm gonna be straight up with you. We're done with that. We're done with farts. We're done with the jokes of farts. I personally enjoy them, but the majority of Thunder is not. So if it has anything to do with farts, it's gonna be denied, just completely denied. As much as I would love to actually continue that joke, the veterans and new recruits all don't like the idea of Thunder being accustomed to farting.
They don't want to be the butt of all jokes.
Exactly. Though I will say I saw a lot of Major Hanso's suggestions, and there was one, I kid you not, I started drinking soda and immediately had to spit it out laughing, and it got all over my keyboard. I wish I could show it, but I don't know if Pliff would. Yeah, Pliff or any of the high command would probably like the idea. I'll send it to you later if you want to see it.
No.
No, okay, there you go. And I just saw. I'm sorry. I know I really should be doing this, but let me see. Aren't you the majority of Thunder Legion? I'm so sorry. I'm trying my hardest to get the new pilots your way. Well, actually, I'm no longer the majority of Thunder anymore, especially now with our new recruits, Sub-Lieutenant Tyrus, and the return of Infiltrator Wing's commander, Captain, he used to be a higher rank, but it's now Captain Trevor, who, it was
Captain Trevor. He's been a great addition, hasn't he?
Oh, big time. I'm loving.
Yeah.
I'm loving his fiction writing as well. He's already in the process of making another.
Yeah, I really liked his story. And we just got to get him into the BCs and play some more games with him and get his level up.
Oh yeah.
On Squadrons.
Yeah. Right now my focus, other than rebranding Thunder, is getting our Sub-Lieutenant Tyrus his lieutenant bars. Because he's been sub-lieutenant for too long, we got to get him into lieutenant. But we'll get that eventually. But speaking of fiction, your intersection story, holy, that is an amazing bit. I wanted to know what made you start, and what was what's the word? I'm drawing a blank here. What was your inspiration? That's the word. What was your inspiration in making it?
Well, thank you for enjoying it. I know it's a bit more longer form than some of the other sort of more serialized stories. Tusks has been writing quite a few, which has been excellent. Really enjoyed those, and your own Valkyrie Chronicles. But I guess personally, I just wanted to do something a little bit different in regards to my own creative contributions. So I've done a load of graphics for the Age. I've got a couple of banners out there in the wild, and even during RTF, I made this webcomic, and My idea was that I really wanted to link it back to some sort of real life hook within the squadron. So, for example, during Raise the Flag, Xylo didn't have a working microphone or headset, so I wrote that into the comic, as in like he's part of the squadron, but he can't. His comms are down, but he still managed to get on with the mission and take care of it. And Cupcake, so Cupcake doesn't have squadrons, plays a lot of single player with the older games, and so I wrote into the webcomics that his hyperdrive had failed and he had to overcome adversity by himself. So the intersection was, or is, it's an ongoing thing, is my attempt to sort of, well, firstly to challenge myself through something a bit more long form, and also about progressing the narrative or the mythology of Eagle Squadron. It's got a long and storied history, but if you actually go looking for it, you can't find much about it. So my thought on the whole matter is that we've got these stinking ancient rusty old X-Wings, all these T-65s that just keep breaking down, and how do we upgrade? How do we get some new ones? So I thought I could turn this into something long, and it's become quite long, but I'm pacing myself. I'm giving myself like a month to write each sort of episode or part of it, and it's been really well received, and I really enjoy it. And I really enjoy writing for people, not for people, writing for characters. So yours was one of the first ones, and you'll remember that I reached out to you and said, hey, look, I've written you into this story, and what do you think? How does this fit with your character? And I did the same with Silwa, but I didn't do it, I might add. I didn't do it with Honsu and Marenta. I was a bit rushed at the end and sort of just wrote them into this story and got it out. But I think it came out.
I was gonna say it still seemed to work perfectly how you read them in. And I remember you messaging me one day. It's like, hey, so what is with the deal with Legion's mask? And I was like, oh right, I forgot to add the IMPR for that. Let me go ahead and let you know, and then write up the IMPR for that. For those of you, again, I'm sorry with the using acronyms. IMPR, Imperial Navy Personnel Record. We all have either one written up or have the option to write one up when you join EH. That being said, I find a lot of people still haven't actually used them, but it's fine. But yeah, it's like I remember having to write something real quick. It's like, oh yeah, what was the story with my mask and all that? And so I went with the plans of what I was already gonna do with the fiction that I was writing. I'm like, I will just use that, but briefly. But I thought you were just gonna use me for like a few seconds, and you used up a whole section for me. I'm like, oh no, I didn't give him enough info. Then I started reading it, and you nailed me down. Wait, hold up, phrasing. You nailed my character down perfectly.
Only one person on this ship was being nailed down.
Yes. What was that, Hanswar? Anyway, so sorry, Marenta has paid me to say that almost in every episode.
She's paying you to say it, isn't it?
Yes, pay me in Beskar. It's the only way I can get my Beskar Yeti cups without them being launched to me via torpedo. Anyway, but
look, I mean, more broadly, I think fiction is something that we're starting to see quite a lot more of, which maybe traditionally it has been quite a big part of the Emperor's Hammer. But over the last few months, you've started seeing more and more people take an interest in both their character and the lore, and LORE lore, the lore and the narrative of the Emperor's Hammer in general. There's an impetus to push the story forward, and whatever happened to Tusserix. Have to raise the flag. We don't know where we've gone. So people just take what they have on board and want to be a bigger part of of the story, and they do that by these short fictions. And personally, I get a huge amount of enjoyment out of reading them, out of writing them, and yeah, I really hope we see more people, you know, take on board these stories and intermingle them, particularly when you read a story and it's got something of something else, some other narrative involved or included in it, and you go, I know that yeah, that was part of that story that Tusks wrote. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that just goes more. It just goes a lot more of a way. That's a terrible way of saying it. It strengthens the Empress Hammer community, and it's a good thing to be a part of.
Oh yeah, and hopefully we can get these stories to be made by our mission creators, for those still making custom missions for all the single player games. I still remember Lieutenant Colonel Alejandro wanting to use parts of my story on a custom mission he wants to make. So I was like, yeah, make sure to also choose everybody else as well. Don't just choose mine. But hopefully we can get these stories that to actually be custom missions, so that it's like not only can we read them, we can experience them, and that would be amazing. How they're going to make a TIE interceptor with a hyperdrive system, I don't know. But for those of you wondering, yes, I have that in the Valkyrie series that I've written. It'd be very interesting to see a TIE interceptor go into hyperdrive. It's like, that's not how that works. That's never how that worked. At least not during the Galactic Empire era.
I'll take an interceptor with a hyperdrive any day of the week. Damn, I love it.
Yeah, just make
hey,
sure.
should we sorry to cut you off. Should we get some of my Eagle guys in?
I was just gonna ask, like, they could join in on the voice call at any time. I've actually been waiting. I don't know if they were actually waiting for a queue or something, but they're more than welcome to join. There's here we go. We got yes, new promote. We got. Oh, okay. Hang on. I need to make sure these volumes are set correctly. Let's start with the newly promoted Lieutenant Commander, Drummer, the Gunner Nate. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to be on. Yeah, new promotion is interesting. Still not used to it, but I'm very happy with it.
It's look, you're in a good what's the word I'm looking for? Group of ranks. We've all been there, and it's where I honestly believe most of the action starts. So you're in good hands. Good hands.
I'm looking forward to what comes next.
And we also have Eagles XO on the line, the very man we've been talking a lot about, Commander Xylo. How are you doing? Hopefully your microphone is actually working again.
Check. Can you hear me?
Hey, there we go. We can't hear you. Perfect. I do have to raise you up just
stuff.
a slightly bit, but that's not. It's not too much. And then, how are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I've had a much better day today than I've had pretty much all month. So
Good.
Thursday magic.
Well, that's always good to hear. And then we also have on the call Lieutenant Strayland. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome. Good to hear. Sorry, I'm also at the same time adjusting everybody's audios because Discord being Discord. So we now have several members of Eagle. How's everybody doing this evening? I already asked that. What I meant to say is, how is everybody enjoying the show?
It's great, as always. The podcast is always nice to see. It kind of brings a personal level to the whole podcast scene, where you get to see the people you sort of know through Discord, but you kind of get to know them more in depth. It was really interesting to hear Graf's history on the TIE cores. It's something I've always been interested in.
All right.
Yeah. And I'd like to, and just like most podcasts, I don't usually attentively listen to podcasts, but I always put them on in the background because they're always good to listen to. And every episode has been worth something about the history of people and the TIE Corps and just knowing other squadrons, especially on other ships. I'm very pretty much relatively new. I'm like fresh off the docks, as is Drummer and Strayland. So getting to know all this history and how people have come to be where they are, where I know them, is huge. I think I used to remember when I was first here, Genie was a lieutenant colonel. Now he's actually a full colonel, and I don't even remember him being a lieutenant colonel. He's just always been a colonel.
Awesome. And Lieutenant Strayland, were you going to say something?
Yes, this one was actually the first stream that I've watched.
Oh, really?
So, heard you guys' voices for the first time. That was interesting. Yeah, I did enjoy like the hour or so that I've been watching it, listening to it. It is interesting hearing kind of history that I haven't seen since I'm pretty new.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just joined not that long ago. How are you liking our little merry band of misfits? Our TIE Corps.
Yeah, I am liking because I joined in like December, I think. And I have enjoyed like. I don't actually message that much, but I do like read all the messages, and it's fun seeing all the little conversations that go on.
Hmm. So, I have to ask, since most of you are here, who is on Eagle's Chiquila Cup team?
Who wants to answer this?
I certainly can because I'm organizing. So we've got drummer and Graf here are on the whoa, I can't speak. I'm just going to say Arano and Apogees because that's what the team name is. Which means Aranoa is the word for eagle in Ukrainian, I'm pretty sure. So that's where that comes from. And then Apogees is a term for the highest point of an orbit, or the furthest point of an orbit. So we thought it fit. And it was nice alliteration. So we go with it. And so drummer, Graf, myself, Yubel, who is one of our other newer lieutenants, he's not on today, and Sir Caleb, who is probably the best bomber pilot that I know personally. He's also on the team.
Okay, and how I haven't really been keeping up again due to work, and I unfortunately had to miss our team against you. I heard we tied 1-1 that round or that match.
Yes.
So
yes. So first game we won, and then second game we lost pretty handily. We pretty handily lost the second game, but it was fun to watch. Everyone had a good time. It was worth it.
So in terms of winning, how I mean, I would say how would y'all feel, but obviously the answer would be amazing. When you lost, I guess I don't really want to focus too much on the negative, but what do you think you could have improved to help had achieved the win?
Funny you should ask that. I think Graf was alluding to it earlier in the stream, but if you had access to the Eagle chat and you scrolled up a little bit, I made a several message long post about that after watching the stream, because I was not part of the second match, so I had the liberty of just watching it and being able to take a look at things. So I don't want to take away from you, Graf. You have been silent for very long, so I mean I can let you take over if you'd like.
No, go for it. I've been talking a lot.
He's been talking for like the past 40-something minutes. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, here we go. So basically I broke it out piece by piece on what I think we did well and what I think we could improve on, and based on the skills and what I know everyone likes to do. Caleb didn't get to play, so I didn't get to say anything about that. But for general team tips, I was thinking TAC map. a lot of people overlook the tactical map when they're playing fleet battles. It's super useful. It is deceptively informative. If you pull up if you have a moment, always pull up the tac map. If you're not being engaged, it will show you exactly where the enemy players are, what they're doing. It will show you where your own teammates are, what they're doing. It shows you the health of the current flagships and their systems, and it shows you down to the point what the morale bar is. It's very deceptively informative, and really just peruse it in a few seconds, pull it up, find it, and a lot of the strategy that we've been trying to practice is what I'm calling the sequence. So we have 3 players that go in 1, 2, 3 on some kind of objective, and that way we focus all of our strength on one thing, and that's super helpful for pulling that off. And then also some general team tips for resupply. I noticed that a lot of times, and I see this a lot in a lot of players, people go back for a resupply when they don't necessarily need to. So like, especially after the opening dogfight, a lot of people will go for a resupply when they have a missile or they have a few bombs that they haven't expended yet, and that's wasting that ordnance. You're going back to the cruiser, which wastes time, sitting under it, which wastes more time, and then refilling ordnance that you didn't use. So trying to balance those resupplies, and if you've got a missile, just fire it. Just use it. Do something with it instead of going back and wasting the time and wasting the damage.
Remind me to get you and Beretta onto like an actual day we can watch a match, actually show it live on the podcast, and have you two talk like the ESPN commentators, because you just broke down what I didn't expect you to break down, and I loved every second of it. I actually want to see that, like that sort of analytical breakdowns live. So remind me to do that with get Beretta on here, because I know the both of you love doing that. I need to see this live next time.
Try and since we've got Drummer on stream, I'll say some good things about him because he deserves them. Obviously, there's a reason There's a reason the second you got that TIE Corps pass, man. There's a reason the second that happened, you were made LCM. So I made some notes and I'll kind of peruse them. So watching the streams, Drummer, when he came in, we were practicing, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't do anything. I feel like I'm just dying too much." And so we took the time, and we used to have these things that I just informally called Eagle Flying Fridays, where we would try to get together on Friday nights and just fly some fleet battle versus AI, just so we can get more players on, get to know each other, and get to know what we like doing. It was one of those nights. I think it was the beginning of RTF or just before it.
Yeah, and I think it was like right at the beginning when it started.
We had one of those Friday flying nights, and it was even more important for RTF. And we still took the time during those fleet battles, and I was like, "Hey, Drummer, I think that you've got what you're trying to do objective wise. How about you hop in a bomber and just go at the objective, just shoot the big ships, like just do what you can." And then throughout that night, I taught him what limited I know that I learned from others about AI farming, and he took to that role like a star, and he's gotten even better at it. Like he used to be like me when I was doing cab ship runs, and we would just go at it, just unleash the ordnance, fly slow, fly straight, and then do the bomber thing, go pew 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 pew. And now watching the fleet battles, especially the first one, he's got fantastic drift management. Like he can pull a super precise, nice drift, and you could see it a lot throughout because we were playing on Sisabo. You could see it a lot there. He has really good drift management, and he is man on a mission when it comes to AI farming and capital ship damage. The match we won, I basically just pointed at a target. I was like, "Drummer, I'm going in, do this," and Drummer would just do it, and he does it well. There's always a little bit of room for improvement. Just those few seconds, and that well, Legion. Every time we do a time trial, I'm always like, okay, well, this is what we can do to shave those seconds. This is what we can do to be a little bit better. And I did that for me as well. I'm not just trying to bash on the Rusty Eagle Squadron. I never tried to do that. So when we get the chance, I would love to teach Drummer some boost gasping, because he has what he needs down in the drifting department. We can just give him just give you that boost energy you need, man, and you'll be a lot harder to kill, because like I said, people look to you as like the easiest kill, as like the weakling, the weak link in this squadron, in this team. You make them pay for it. Make them pay for it.
I want to actually step in there and say, I don't think anybody thinks that at this point, especially.
No, I know
this,
Stillwar does. I know Stillwar does.
Okay, well,
Silwar
Silwar goes after every bomber. Let's just say that.
I was watching the stream. Lorenta and Silwar and Richlet were all like, "Go after Drummer. He's the weak link."
Because he's the bomber.
You can make them pay for that. You can make them pay for thinking that.
True.
We'll get you on. And then just a few minor things, just like remember to rebalance your shields sometimes. I know it's a very hectic game, but just like you toss a glance to the tac map, toss a glance to your shields, rebalance them. Just little tiny things like that, and you will shoot even further. Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, I have nothing but praise to say about Drummer's performances in Squadron and his in Squadrons and around the EH. He's been a great music artist. He's posted some of his things. He's always active in those music channels. He does a whole bunch of things musically. He's really good at it, and he just keeps getting better at Squadrons as well. So, a very well deserved Lieutenant Commander promotion. You've joined the best ranked club. I hope you enjoy it.
Also want to just take this moment looking at the live chat again. I've been doing this a lot this night. We have two very proud fathers who are crying seeing young Xylo now fully grown up. Yeah, I know phrasing. I get that. Ha 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 ha. It doesn't matter. So Hans War. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, Xylo. Yeah. Again, I wanna say, I really honestly think the only reason why they went after Drummer. Let me guess, Drummer, you were in a bomber, correct?
Yeah, I'm always in a bomber when it's fleet battles.
There you go. It's not the reason because he's weak. It's because he's in a bomber. Everyone's always gonna prioritize the bomber in a fleet battle.
I was also in a bomber during that fleet battle, and they did not prioritize me. Evil Grin went after me in the last couple phases, but everyone went after Drummer. And I know Silwar. Everyone has a thing for kill the Silwar, but I've noticed Silwar has a thing for kill me. He will always go out of his way every time that we're playing against each other to kill me.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Once Drummer, take what he said. Take his advice. When you get that drifting down, you're gonna be a force to reckon with.
So we're only like one round into the Chalkilla Cup, and I'm curious to know everybody's thoughts on not necessarily where we stack up, but certainly who you guys think are the front runners. Teams to beat.
I was actually just gonna ask that. Yeah, good call. I would like to know who you guys think are waiting to battle it out, and who are the ones that you're. I don't want to say too afraid to go against, but worried to go against. If that makes any sense. I have
very recent experience with the pilots of the Lambda team.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say Lambda.
And I had the honor of being part of their team, Lambda to the Slaughter, for Cadet Cup 5, and those three, especially those three, work together like a well-oiled machine. They're all great pilots individually. Howler is a fantastic bomber pilot. He and Caleb are probably neck and neck for who I think is the best bomber pilot. They're both insanely good at it in any form, and he will just pound objective damage through. Wookiee is an unassailable murder support, and he's a fantastic team captain. Wookiee's just a great presence, super positive, super strong-willed, and super funny. But he's a great team captain in the middle of it. led us to victories because of his advice. And Genie obviously is the sleepless genie. He will do what it takes, and he's really, really, really skilled at pretty much any role, and he'll do any role. So that team, that group of three is absolutely who I'm expecting to gun for the front.
All right.
I'd agree with Epsilon. I'm sorry, I'd agree with Lambda, but I'd also point out Epsilon will give me some pause for concern. Tegeta, Githrin. Hopefully he's burping his kid at that time, so we don't have to worry about it.
I was gonna say, are you using the parent strat here?
Yeah, like he's gonna be changing a nappy, so he's not gonna get any time to play us. Hopefully, and they got Tarkaman and the new Wookiee, the lesser Wookiee, the second Wookiee, the other Wookiee.
Oh yeah, we have two Wookiees in our Thai core now. Oh, we really need to worry about names here.
And if Tempest bring, their top team, they are stacked. Giz, Snacks, Onsu, Morg, Gracious. There's some pretty heavy hitters in that bunch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I remember
Morgoth. I'm sorry, real quick. I was just gonna say. I remember Morgoth being in the same position as Drummer is right now, but he just needed a new flight stick. Now that he has his new flight stick, yeah. So, like I said, you'll get that drifting down. You'll be a force to reckon with, Drummer.
Oh, I'm currently saving up for POTUS. So
Okay.
hopefully I get better with that. But who knows? Maybe I'll be a controller expert.
Oh, who knows? And I'm sorry, what were you gonna say, Silo?
Nothing. I was just saying. All these names are coming back, and like the fear is running through. Fear and admiration is running through me. Because when I before I had even joined the Emperor's Hammer, when I was working with formerly Tempest Squadron Wreckage, Silwar, and Hansu, and Giz, and Akri, and Cold Snacks, for Cadet Cup 2.
Pretty much all of Tempest at this point.
pretty much. Well, they were all there. They were all there and all showing me the ropes. And that was the point at which I thought A-Wings for attacking frigates was like the strat. My very first couple like scrim matches with those guys, Akri and Giz blew me away, and they still blow me away. And so those names are just like, I'm like, oh crap.
So I know you three. You three are part of the Cheekila Cup. Strayland, I haven't heard much from you. So what are your goals here for Eagle Squadron?
Well, I don't have squadrons or any Star Wars flying games at the moment. I'm gonna work on it.
As I said, that can be easily rectified if you have a computer.
If I do have a computer, but squadrons is like $50, something like that.
I was gonna say, do you have Steam?
Yes.
Get in touch with me later. Get in touch with me after the stream. This can be rectified. But yeah. So what were your goals again? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just kind of here.
Okay. Getting the feel for the waters.
Yeah.
And how have you been enjoying it?
I've been liking being on here.
Okay.
Meeting people. Yeah.
As I say, anything you hope to see in the future, or you're in it for the ride right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you all pretty much already covered all of my talking points. I didn't even need to, like, quote unquote, find a way to transition into these talking points. You've all done it for me. So it's like at this point, yeah, I leave it open to questions from Eagle to me, I guess, or just to EH in general, if anybody has any.
I'm no good with questions. I guess I just wanted to say, because I've got a very ticking time clock on this. I've got 9 minutes before my Wi-Fi just straight up cuts out.
Oh, right.
I guess I just wanted to say that despite the fact that I feel very new here, and I am relatively fresh off the docks into all of this, and I've never been around, and I'm still learning all these things. Being a part of Eagle Squadron has been one of the most fun parts of my whole experience in the Emperor's Hammer, and that's saying something, because everything here is amazing. I said it in Pliff's Asteroid Bar, and I'll say it again. I say it all around. It just feels really good to be here. I can always count on coming to this community to just feel okay, and feel excited, feel good around all these amazing people, all these very skilled people, and getting to just learn so much about things that I never knew about and discuss. So there's being the Emperor's Hammer itself, the TIE Corps is just so great, and even amongst all of that, being a part of Eagle Squadron had been my favorite part. And it doesn't even have to relate to any of my positions or any of my achievements. It doesn't, even without any of that, it would still be worth it and a lot of fun to be here, just because of, I feel like, Squadron identity. It just, and I say that a lot, and I think it's part of Calv leaking through me in terms of just looking that much deeper. But it's a good. I like Eagle. We're a family. We're a community. We are not the most competitive squadron. We aren't out there. We don't have Tempest's citations. We don't have Lambda's reputation. We don't have Epsilon's superstars. We don't have the amazing numbers in RTF to show, although we did. I think we did amazing in RTF 2021. We had a good time. We came out and we very nearly beat Delta Squadron, which is still an ongoing rivalry that I really enjoy. Memes didn't carry the hammer to victory in that department.
Yeah.
But just even if we aren't that super competitive, even if we aren't that top of the line squadron that everyone thinks about, we are Eagle Squadron, and we have an identity, and that identity is precisely our community. It's you see the fierce, straight on serious business of the Eagle, and a lot of our conversations sometimes devolve to of serious nature, but every single person is always there to back up someone else if they need it. Drummer said today that he might not be able to make it, and it was all good because we all rallied behind him. He was at a play of one of his friends, which is amazing. It's admirable. You love seeing that kind of thing, and we're always there to do that. And that's always a thing that comes through the Eagle channel. We're always super supportive of everyone that actually is out there, showing it, and we don't mind. We don't mind if we're not on the top of those or out there, because we know that we are. For lack of a better term, we're a family. A community, a family like that, and it hurts sometimes when it feels good when someone does well, when things happen, and it feels terrible when things have to leave. Just like we lost a critical hit to the reserves recently, and throughout my first months as a member of the TIE Corps, a critical hit was basically them and Graf were basically my mentors, and the people I looked up to the most. And I have super fond memories of critical during Imperial Storm, and so it hurts to see them go, but it's okay, because we sent them out, and we hope to see them back, and we support what happens there. And I'm not saying no other squadron is like that. I hope every other squadron is like that. I know every other squadron is like that. But it feels good to be here. I love all you guys.
I was gonna say, Xylo, never get rid of that optimism.
Yep.
Seriously, never get rid of that optimism. That is amazing. Graf, I understand now why you chose him as your XL. It's evidently clear.
Yeah, there was never any doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, keep that positivity, man. We all love it. All right. So yeah, we're pretty much over. Wow, I think we've actually beaten the record of longest Airlock podcast. We are now up to. I'm sorry, what?
I was saying, don't let me dominate the last part of this conversation. I was just trying to get in what I can say before I have to go.
I did leave it open.
You're here for a reason. Yeah, you're here for a reason. You let them have it. I definitely dominated that conversation.
I did leave it open. I did leave it open to whatever anybody wanted to do. So don't worry. But yeah, no.
And out the airlock, I go on the airlock. podcast.
No one's going out on the airlock podcast. I'm the only one that would survive with my mask. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna say I think we've actually beaten the record. Yeah, Xylo and Eagle breaking more records on anything I make on the longest so far the longest episode of the Airlock podcast. I almost said the wrong title.
You know somebody's going to take this as a challenge now.
Yep, it's usually how it goes, which is fine. We always love a challenge here on the challenge. Marita, I swear your puns are infecting my head. Stop it. Speaking of puns, I actually have to say this one because I know she's been hitting us with a bunch of I don't want to say bad puns because some of them do make us laugh.
They're great puns.
I do have to say one that I heard over the radio while I was at work, and it immediately made me think of her puns. So I was like, you know what? If she's listening, or if anybody can go ahead and clip this moment for her to see, here's a pun that I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna ask you guys here at Eagle first. What did where no, I gotta say this correctly, otherwise it's gonna be bad, or very bad, I should say. Where did bad rainbows go when they break the law?
I'm not sure.
Prism, but don't worry, it's a light sentence.
That was really good. That had a double hit punt. Those are always the best.
It hurt me. It hurt me saying that. It hurt me. It hurt me to say that, but it's like I knew if I didn't say it, she was gonna hound me the entire time until I said it. So if somebody wants to clip that, go ahead. Yes, I already see the airlock being asked by our vice admiral. Alrighty, so we've got to the portion now where I now am going to ask. Yep, Xylo probably had to dip out because the Wi-Fi is being cut off. I'm now going to ask Graf. It is going to be your turn to nominate a commander, or the next commander to be interviewed on the Airlock podcast. We had Taigeta last, and he's on the Warrior, so we got to choose one from the Hammer. I gotta make sure we choose one that we haven't chosen yet. So go ahead. What who would you like to nominate? Even though I think I know who you're gonna nominate.
You do know who it's gonna be. It's gonna be Genie.
Yep, I figured. I'm like, thinking about the Lambda past, Lambda connections.
Well, to be fair, if I was going to choose Frozen because, but you said it had to be on the Hammer.
Yeah, because we already had the previous one from the Warrior, and what I'm trying to do is one commander each ship in a cycle. So yeah,
perfectly fine. So yeah, I was going to choose Frozen because I think he's got a fascinating story to tell. But you know what? So does Genie. So either of them would be very good.
And as I say, I have a lot to discuss with Genie because he. Remember, and for those of you here still watching live here in the voice channel, there is still another competition I'm running. Speaking about me running competitions. Where I actually award medals out for talking point submissions. for every 5 used on this podcast, you will receive. What was the level I had again? I think
Platinum
it was.
wings?
No, God, no. I wish. It was. It was one of the ribbon level iron stars. I can't for the life of me remember which one I said it was going to be. It's in the competitions section on our new updated website, by the way. Congratulations, internet team. You finally got it down, and it looks amazing, by the way.
So good.
Yes, if we can now just get the mobile to work properly. No, I'm kidding. It'll get done. So, if anybody has any more talking points they want to submit for us to talk about, go ahead and do that. Remember, every 5 used, you will get a shiny new medal. And for anybody who joins as a guest, will receive the Imperial Achievement Ribbon. So all of you who are here right now will be getting one. Xylo will also be getting his. Yeah, anybody who joins as a guest. And I was to say, Genie, out of anybody, filled up over, and I kid you not, 4 pages worth of talking points.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, I have a lot to talk about with him.
Sounds like he's just going to interview himself.
Pretty much. At this point, it's like, well, I don't need to think of any talking points. We already have them.
He's going to have plenty of things to say as well.
Oh, yeah. We might actually have a few other guests along with that, depending on how he wants to run it, because we may be talking about several things. Anything going from the ward, talking about the ward's position of the TIE Corps, all the way to Project Sovereign. If we can ever get Mordecai on our show, I will get him on the show. I promise you I will get him on the show. But all right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and deafen myself. Australian, if you want, just hang back after the show. Like I said, I'll talk to you there. And Graf, thank you so much for joining as well. I know you got to bounce here and grab your kids, so I'll let you go on that. And Drummer, once again, congratulations on your promotion. Thank you so much for joining the show as well.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on, and thanks for the. Yeah, I've been enjoying my time on the TIE Corps, as I said, and can't wait for what the future holds.
Yes, and we also want to thank Xylo as well, even though he had to bounce early, for joining. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Like I said, you guys out. Yep, you're welcome, and I will be. It
was a lot of fun. It really was.
I appreciate it. Glad you all had fun. I'm gonna go ahead and deafen myself on the voice channel, though. All right.
Nighty night.
All right. Bye. Alrighty. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be our show tonight. Definitely the longest one we've had. 1 hour 30 minutes. I was about to say 30 seconds. So yeah, that is the show tonight. So if anybody wants to go ahead and ping Genie, he's been volunteered as tribute for the TIE Corps podcast, or the Airlock Podcast. Excuse me. Anyway, I am gonna go ahead and figure out why audio levels have been screwing up, but I'll do that anyway later. But like I said, we will go ahead and end for tonight. Thank you all so much for stopping on by. This has been very informative today. I've actually enjoyed the episode today. A lot of information we covered. So, but yeah, that's enough talking for me. I'm trying to focus on too many screens now at this time. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Captain LegionX of the Squadron, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.